Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. विष्णुपाद पदमंस परिव्राजकाचार्य Prasada Srimad Vaichanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय, समस्त गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्रील रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, उपस्थित गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, इस्कॉन वर्तमान आचार्य वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा की जय, श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय. Nitai Gaur Shaitanat Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Hare Krishna. Om Jnanasthimiraandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Nivadi Paschat Deshtarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Let me do away with an important preliminary. We just turn this off. It's gonna keep bothering. So, as Shantamaji already announced, I was deputed to have some sort of discussion on one of these important topics called dhairya, patience. One of the 6 favorable qualities, which is it's like with this. Today I badly need the microphone. Generally, I don't. Generally, I like to yell and shout. My throat gave way. So, yeah, one of those six qualities which are favorable for devotional service. To begin with, like this very term or this very uh, idea of what is favorable for devotional service and what is not favorable for devotional service is has not been. Am I still audible? Am I audible?
It's only going from, but we do need the sound. What's
Yeah,
happening
yeah, yeah.
with the sound?
Okay, it's because I think it's continuously the electricity is fluctuating. So, although these six qualities, which are see, so very like, in between the line things, uh, prasiditi and pranashyati. So, although these six qualities are favorable or unfavorable, yet any quality, this or any quality in the world is not powerful enough to stop Krishna consciousness. But for the sadhak, life becomes a little easier when you have them. You see. So that's why it has never been associated like that, and that's why you don't find the qualities as part of the 64 limbs of bhakti. That is the first subtlety. But there are things which we have, just like uh, devotion by itself does not need anyone's support, but the practicing devotee does. So, therefore, there are those subtleties, and that's why these qualities, and uh, yeah, just like any other quality which is favorable for devotional service, or qualities which are born of devotional service. So, there are again these are two separate, but yet they are. Let me try to project. I won't be able to because my throat has. I'm actually sick. Uh, so, like these qualities, like patience, it's like, okay, let's have a raise of hands. How many of you see patience as a passive quality? Patience as a passive quality. It's just like passive. It's like you don't see. It's like it doesn't uh, pushes you. No, passive. No, secondary. Passive means passive. Passive means that which is not actually pushing you to do something, or it's like very passive in nature. It's very docile in nature. How many of you see this as a passive quality, right? Patience is a very passive quality. No, it is not. It's a very active quality, actually. That's like I. That's it's actually very active. We will see when you go through the nectar of instruction, and no, it is something to do with. Are you sure about this is about wire? I think it is all got to do with the electricity connection. Hare Krishna. So, I mean, if possible, the devotees like Prabhus can congregate a little closer and Matajis can still come here. Ha, yeah, that's the easier one, no? The ladies, the Matajis can come this side, Prabhus can come that side, and then yeah. Again, the same thing, making the life easier. You see, now it started working. So, all right. So that passive active thing, generally enthusiasm gives the impression that it's a very active quality, and patience gives the impression that it's a passive quality, but all six of them are active qualities. They are not passive qualities. The nature is non-passive. Because why it's non-passive? Because all of them needs to be practiced. I mean, all of them needs to be applied to. You know. In the due course of time, certainly, I believe that famous or infamous debate of whether qualities needs to be practiced or qualities come automatically will come automatically. But till the time it arrives, as we see Prabhupada giving this purport about Dhairya and NOI verse number 3. So I'm just going around certain things. Okay. So first and foremost, the patience is patience for devotional service and in devotional service. Both things are like connected, they are not the same. For devotional service implies that the objective is devotional service. And in devotional service, as much like when this quality arises as a result of practice of devotional service. So both things are quite connected. And again, the target. So the target cannot be the target. Whatever like qualities, whatever helpful attributes of devotional service we might aim for, the aim cannot deviate from the real aim, and that is attainment of Krishna Prem. So whether it's like attainment of any quality, any practice of any limb of devotional service, it goes right there to the. So the idea is, unless and until these qualities are directed, it's just like it's kartal, like so. So the kartal doesn't go anywhere unless I aim and throw it at somebody. So these qualities don't go anywhere unless and until the target is the lotus feet of Krishna. It doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't take us anywhere. See, the quality of patience is not a personality like Vrinda Devi. So you have to direct it, just like a arrow. You come to Vrindadevi, you come to any spiritual personality, you come to Prabhupada, you take Charanamrit, whether you know it, you don't know it, you're moving towards Krishna consciousness. But so far these qualities are concerned, you have to direct them. Then it goes, it's directed, and then it goes there. So therefore the goal of Krishna Prema, service to Krishna, has to be there, and then whatever you do, that will go there. These are all subtle mental exercises, like the mind is, that's why the mind is such a powerful medium. Karmana vacha manasa. So actively many things we do, when we see, it might be different, but what we do internally. Just like when we are offering Krishna Arti, only the pujari knows, only and only the pujari knows who the incense is directed towards. The person standing outside, he doesn't know who is even waving it. So similarly, the practitioner, much of the things in bhaktis, many things can be like they are very observable phenomena. But more than them, the majority of phenomena cannot be observed very easily unless you spend some time on it. So when we see, just like to begin with, like where does these qualities are required? Practically everywhere. Okay, it's like patience. I was like, sometimes they test their patience. Day before yesterday, I went obviously at the wrong time, in that sense. What I should say, that was the test of the patience. Went to Radharaman, and I had to wait for around 30 minutes in that crowd. So, test of patience, but it was there the day before Balram Purnima was there. So that is like, what is that being tested? Patience, the quality of patience is tested by the manifestation of eagerness. So you want to do a service, but like everything in the world except chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything else goes by time. Because Dham doesn't have any, but everything else, most of the things have time. Smarana and Kirtan don't need time, but everything else has got time. So that, like, even a limb such as darshan requires patience. And the opposite of that, impatience, Mataji just mentioned about that. That kind of quality generally comes from greed actually. And that is material greed, not spiritual greed. It's not lawlium. It's when I want to, possess something. So that urge to possess something takes away the patience. So I want to possess something, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's like, why do we see like fast food so much in vogue? I cannot wait. I cannot wait for food. Just give it to me as soon as possible. So it's just the greed. When the greed is like, the more greed is gonna attack, the more it's gonna take away the patience, or vice versa. You can say it's the fight against greed for the quality of patience. To just maintain the sanity, basically. So yeah. So these basically greed and the what you can say, the derivatives of greed, and the greed is not fulfilled, then what happens? You become angry, you become morose, either this side or that side of the story. See, opposite of matter is matter. Opposite of matter is not spirit, it cannot be. Because that which opposes something must be of equal value. So therefore, opposite of matter is matter. So when greed, which is matter, is not be fulfilled, it will only lead to something which is again matter. It's like the opposite of attachment is what? No, it is aversion. Raga dvesha vyavasthita. You see, detachment is a completely different animal altogether. It is a byproduct of devotional service. Jnana Vairagya. So therefore it's a completely different thing. What is understood as Vairagya in the material world is more of a Virakti that comes because of non-fulfillment. And that's why those who practice that thing, their heart becomes hard. And you see, if you go these yogis, these other Mayavadis, and those who are not really practicing devotional service, you'll find that problem. It's like, I think a couple of days ago, I was visiting Prasada and Nandgaon, and on the road there were these different mathas, some Mayavadi, I could see that, yogis, Jnanmargis, and they are amplifying from their, like the ashram is amplifying, and they are amplifying chanting, Vedic mantras, some mantras they are chanting. And I don't find any sweetness in that mantra. It's just like order. Although those mantras are so sweet, but it doesn't sound sweet because it is coming from the heart, which is hardened. So the mantras which are prayers to Krishna sound like commands, ordering Krishna, do this. All of that happens because a proper thing is not in the proper place. Everything in its place and a place for everything. So if it's not there, then it will happen. So it is actually that patience which is born, of trying to acquire something of a very high value. It's like, which is Krishna Vrindavana, cannot be more higher than that. So that's why this is like so important. Let me quote Prabhupada's Narad Bhakti Sutra. I'm just reading out verse number 5 in section of the purport written by Prabhupada. It's not that part is like specifically written by Prabhupada. It's writing. The devotee should patiently follow the rules and regulations of devotional service. So now, by this you can say, he's saying that you patiently follow. That means the patience is a precondition. What about those who don't have this? So it's a simple fundamental in spiritual life. Whatever you don't have, you practice. Simple. This is like, There was this in Delhi, one of like my friends, boys, he used to go to this guitar class to learn, and on the gate of that guitar class, he told me that, and I remember that I haven't seen that, but he told me that. So he said, in like when we enter the institution, the guitar institute, it is written on the gate. The answer is practice. Now tell me your question. The answer is practice. Now tell me your question. If it's a skill, the answer is practice. Okay. Now, patience, like any other quality, is not just a skill, it's a value. Okay. So, the values come by combination of three things. Knowledge of that value, practice of that value, and above all, prayers to Krishna. That comes. So, but there's another way of getting the same values. We will come to that. Right now, we are discussing what Prabhupada is speaking. Following the rules and regulations, see what he is saying. Follow the rules and regulations of devotional service so that the day will come. It's a very miraculous purport. You will never see, very rare, seldom Prabhupada speaks like this. When he will, that means the practitioner will achieve all of a sudden, all the perfection of devotional service. So, how is it that is all of a sudden? All of a sudden, the person who is from the third party point of view, he is seeing, he feels like that all of a sudden. But the practitioner, he doesn't even feel that he has got it. And the knower of the truth, he knows nothing happens automatically, nothing happens all of a sudden. It's the culmination of a process. Sadhana, the result of the sadhana might appear like a miracle to the third party as a certain phenomena. To the person who is undergoing the sadhana, he generally feels I haven't achieved anything. I'm still there, or maybe I'm receding. But the knower, the person who is on the practice, either on the same level or close to that, or he is seeing through the eyes of the Shastra, he will see that it hasn't happened suddenly. It has happened because of prolonged sadhana, and he has managed to convince Krishna. That's the vision of Uttamadhikari. The person, not just Uttamadhikari, even the practitioner, whatever stage a person achieves, either it's a Kanishta, it's a Madhyama or an Uttama, the person who is either on the same level or somebody is above that or something, he knows that he hasn't come it on one day. It's not just like he has this identified notion of Kripa Siddhi. I think that, why does the Kripa Siddhi doesn't happen to the beggar on the street? You see, the Kripa is given to that person who is aiming for that Siddhi. Otherwise, the only exception to that rule is when Krishna comes directly, Mahaprabhu comes directly. You cannot question him, why did you give him mercy? So that's it. But otherwise, the person generally will be on some path or devotional service. And it's an out-of-turn promotion. So it's like that. So here is saying, he should not lament for any loss or any reverse in his advancement in spiritual life. So pay this patience. So there's a do and there's a don't. This patience is the third positive item for advancing in devotional service. The patience that is coming as a result of this. See? Otherwise, that other patience, generally what is understood in the world we live, is passive. That's why I asked that question. Is it active or is it passive? There is a passive patience, but that is what is used in this world. that is appreciated in this world. Why? Because it makes you docile. That's accepted because it can make a slave out of you. That's why that kind of patience, the passive patience of this world is very much appreciated by those people. Because after all, everybody is trying to, control everyone else, lording it over, as Prabhupada says. So the person becomes an easy prey. You see? That's why our patience does have limits. What is the limit of the patience? The limit of the patience is, if it's like Mahaprabhu himself shows, he doesn't have patience for, hearing Apasiddhanta. He doesn't have patience for Vaishnava offenses. He doesn't have there are certain boundaries where patience have limits. So, because the only person who can have anything limitless is Krishna. So we are limited and we should know what the limits are. So it's just basically a system. So even when we see a case in particular, the case, and as we see in 9th canto of Ambarish and Durvasa, see, Ambarish, you see that purport is a very subtle purport, and that's like, unless and until that is properly explained, that might lead you to wrong conclusion. It seems apparently that Ambarish had an idea that it is because of his qualities and his devotion to Krishna that Krishna was impressed and Durvasa was sufficiently punished. And Ambarish's qualities of patience and tolerance, they go hand in hand. Actually, all the qualities generally go hand in hand. Some of them maybe otherwise. So that's why he didn't retaliate, and that brought Krishna in the picture, and he retaliated in the instant. And this happened. But Ambarish, despite that thought, so these are the things like that might come to you, but then it immediately recedes back. And devotees like that, that's the difference. Even if a thought comes like that, that recedes, and that thought is put in the proper place. His proper place. And the proper place is, he saw that it is not because of his own virtue. It's not because of his own, pious credits. But it is Krishna who is doing that. So in that sense, any of the qualities won't result in bringing up false pride. Because when you have got a good quality and good material quality, if it is a material quality, now we will come to this. What's a quality, what's a material quality? That quality will eventually give a sense of false pride that will add to it. Because I have something which others don't have. So he didn't have that, because that quality of patience, tolerance was born out of devotional service. And now let's spend some time on what is like a quality born out of devotional service. Qualities are qualities. One may argue that a quality is a quality, any which way you get it, just get it. Okay? But we don't see any of our acharyas actually say like that. They say it for devotional service. Kriyatamyati kuto bilabhyate. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna ramesha. Or, what is that? Narad Muni in 7th canto. He says, reading that verse. This is also like this. After that he says, Gopyat Kayat Kamat Bhayat Kamsat Chedyat Deshat Vrishnayat Sasambandhat Vayamapi Bhakti Bhaktya. So yes, there he says that that Krishna was achieved by gopis like this, by Kamsa like that, by the Vrishnis like this, and like we poor devotees, Narada is speaking about himself, we got it by devotional service. So the fact is, nowhere I haven't yet found that acharyas have said that just get the quality by hook or crook. It's for devotional service. Because the qualities are a product of devotional service. And the same qualities can be the product of Sattva, Raja and Tamagun. See? The qualities can be sattvic and the qualities can be transcendental. That which is sattvic, because it is in the three modes and it is in the material world, Jata hi dhruva vrityo. Dhruva jata sacha. Just like everything in the material world has an end, the qualities will also have an end if they are born of any of the modes of material nature. And Sattva is no exception to that rule. But the qualities which we are talking here, the name is the same. It's like when we say Maya. It is the person who is speaking and the person who is understanding. If he is in the same wavelength, he will understand whether he doesn't even have to qualify it by saying Yoga Maya or Mahamaya. He will understand it. But for persons who don't understand it, then we have to qualify it by saying, oh no, I'm talking about Yoga, I'm talking about Mahamaya. So similarly, the quality, when we talk about in devotional parlance, it is coming as a result of devotional service. And when the people of the world, they talk about the same qualities, they're talking in terms of the world we live in. So now, say for example, any quality, any devotion, just pick any devotional service, any limb at random. Okay, fine, hearing. So when you sit and hear, what possible qualities are attached to it? Any? Okay? If you are hearing someone that there is certain degree of humility, then why would you listen to somebody? Okay. Anything else? Faith is not a quality. Faith is an element of devotional service. It's devotional service. First limb. Quality, value, Shravana. Patience, yeah, he doesn't have patience, he will have patience. Something, at least even if he might have a patience to listen to one sentence. That's okay. But like he's hearing. So what's happening? Those limbs of bhakti, when you are practicing Shravana, are you directly practicing patience or are you directly practicing humility? Is there any direct way to practice humility? There must be some tool to practice that value, right?
You can also think, okay, are you observing not having that quality?
Yeah, so that thinking is mananam. It's mananam. So when you are doing that mananam, if I am using the manan for Krishna directly, that's part of what? Smarana. It will bring. Because in order to do that, that quality is required. So to execute a limb of devotional service, whatever is required, Krishna will supply. You see? And that's the reason it is said that bhakti is not dependent on anything. Because if you say, in order to do smarana, I need patience, tolerance, this thing, that means you are actually saying that bhakti is dependent on that. You start doing that and it will start increasing. That's why none of our acharyas said, bring those qualities first. There are preconditions to devotional service. No precondition. That's why we see in Padyaval different kind of verses which challenges those ideas. What quality did Kubja had? What quality Ugrasena had? So that was the qualities. And it like blows it to pieces. Then it brings material conditioning. Where did Prahlad executed his bhakti? While in the moon. When did Khatwag executed his bhakti? Last moment of his life. Getting my point? So no spiritual material condition can be a impediment provided you directly jump to that limb of devotional service and then wait for the devotional service to take care of that. You see? So that's why when you are executing any limb of devotional service, if you are just mindful that they also give some byproducts, then you will be able to appreciate that all the 26 qualities are born of 64 limbs of bhakti. You know the difference? The difference is because it is born of bhakti, it has the quality of bhakti which is transcendental. It won't be lost by the end of the body. A person who is humble in this lifetime and the humility has acquired as a result of sattva gun, he leaves that body, goes to the next body, has to acquire that humility again. This is part of his karma. Karma finish, body finish. But because the humility which is coming as a result of Kirtaniya Sadhari, that is going to last life after life, till the time we meet our mark. Why do you see certain devotees have got like certain qualities in magnified proportions, while others don't? Do you think Krishna is partial? No, he's just carrying that quality.
From past life.
Yeah, that is called samskara, and that is called devotional samskara. That quality is coming from because of the strength of his devotional service. It's not that the devotional credit is increasing. What is that credit increasing? That means a person is coming from Shraddha gradually towards Bhakti. So while that is happening, these other qualities, these are also coming. It's very easy to understand. It's not, let me add this from another angle. If the bhakti is not properly executed, what happens? The limbs of devotional service are not properly executed. Certain things happen. Okay, make it more narrow. What happens if a chanting is not like up to the mark?
Dry becomes disappointed, frustration.
No, not like that. What does it give?
Nothing.
It gives. That is, something. It's just that is not might not be devotional service, but it will give you something. What does that give? Bhakti, mukti, siddhi. It gives that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So if you are doing it improperly, it gives something, right? So it's plain and simple. If you do it properly, it will also give something. What does it give? And along with the Krishna brain, all the required qualities. You see, how many arrogant Krishna premis have you encountered in your life in the Shastra? How many arrogant Krishna premis? How many chatterbox Krishna premis have you encountered in your Shastra? Practically none. Because Mauna is the quality of the devotee, not being a chatterbox. So why? Because the qualities will follow. If mukti is gonna stand like that, the qualities will follow. Yashasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunai tatra samasate surat. Devotional qualities will follow a devotee, or like what do you expect? It's just common sense. So only devotional quality will follow only devotee. Getting my point? A is equal to B doesn't mean B is equal to A all the time. Remember this. It's not that you acquire all the qualities and you are branded as a devotee. That's yoga marg. That's not bhakti marg. So then like you have got all the 26 qualities, what are you going to do? Now you're going to pressurize Krishna? See, I've got 26 qualities, where is my Krishna prema? It's when you are doing devotional service and the qualities will come because you must know that this will give rise to these qualities. It's just like devotional service. You are mindlessly chanting, you are mindless. You're chanting with a clear focus on having Krishna prem service to Krishna, you will get that. Somebody chanting and he is looking for something else apart from Krishna, you will get that. So whatever you are looking for, you must have an eye over it. The main focus is Krishna. Actually, the sole focus is Krishna. Let me ask you a counter question. What if Krishna wants you to be as arrogant as a peacock? What would you do? Tell me. If Krishna wants you to be as arrogant as a peacock, you're arrogant. So are you actually looking for the quality? So this while the qualities are there to please Krishna, this quality obsession also has to be balanced. That's why we see many practitioners. I have seen during my preaching course. Prabhu, what is your aim of life? I want to become humble. Really? What? Humble than a blade of grass? Right? There are blade of grasses out there. Have they achieved Krishna prema? They have that quality. What you are aiming to do, they already have it. Taller than a tree? How many of us want to become a tree? That's one of the most regrettable and reprehensive species of life. It's only a fool who will, after getting this precious human life, will aim for a tree. Getting my point? What I am aiming, they already have it. Why don't they have Krishna prema? You cannot impress Krishna or force Krishna by your quality. Krishna, that is the telltale sign of devotional service. Like when you go to Krishna prema, only prema can subdue Krishna, nothing else. Because of that prema, when you are on the path of the prema, you will develop all qualities, provided you have a clear vision of this is what you are doing. Otherwise, you want to develop a quality, just go and attend a seminar. In 21 days, you can attain a quality. That's how they teach it. Just open YouTube and you'll find it. 21 days you practice something, it will be part of your life. Then, because you've acquired it, you'll have to leave it here. The quality is not coming as a result of devotional service. It won't have any permanence. Rather, all the material qualities generally become the cause of downfall of that person. Why did Karna died the way he died? He tried to be very, very generous. And when it came to following Krishna, he had no time for Krishna. He died because of his generosity. You see? So all these qualities will make you proud, because you have acquired it. When we are here to submit, manasa deho geho jo kichu more, where is the question of acquiring? Just like when we say this, you must be aware of this, generally as part of our preaching strategy, in the beginning, we do this seminars on art of mind control. Don't we? Yeah, and it's a hot cake. Sells all the time. Why? Because we are selling it not to the devotees but to the demons. That's exactly what they want to do. The biggest obstacle, not for the devotee but also for the demon, is his mind. The demon wants to enjoy, and the mind won't. You see? Because mind is going to control him, either this way or that way. So the demon also understands the value of controlling the mind. If I can control the mind, I can control everything else. Because ultimately the demon, what does he want to become? The controller. So where in which Acharya said, all the Acharya said, submit the mind to Krishna. You see? So it's like that. So while in the beginning, certain things, in whichever way, that's why I said, whichever way you come to Krishna consciousness, that's okay. You can come to Krishna consciousness in many which way, but you cannot survive in Krishna consciousness in the same very which way. What brings you to Krishna consciousness doesn't necessarily keep you in Krishna consciousness. Keep ourselves in Krishna consciousness, the only thing that keeps us in Krishna consciousness is Krishna consciousness. That's what it is. It's a take it or leave it scenario. Either take it or leave it. You can come to Krishna consciousness because Artha Jigyasu Artharthi Jnani, right? Now what if you maintain those four things? That's called the 10th offense to the holy name. Maintaining attachment. What attachment? I came because of attachment. Yes, you can come because of attachment. You cannot keep that attachment. Especially when it's leaving you. When we practice Krishna consciousness, it starts leaving whatever attachment. Then we come into the play. No, I don't want to give it up. I just want to keep it. If you just stand there as a neutral party, you can observe that attachment leaving you, and it leaves very soon. It's with great effort and strength we have to maintain that attachment. And with great strength. Why? Because it is being pulled away by Krishna. So if you are to compete with Krishna, to really, give it a very hard try. And that's what we do. That's the challenge of the sadhana. Ultimately, Krishna is going to win. Nobody defeats Krishna. He will win. But the more time the more we give Krishna the hard time, the more we will be torn apart. Because from on this side, it's just like the position of sadhak is just like the Vasuki. Vasuki also had that greed. I will also get some nectar. What happened to him? One end, the demons are like pulling him, tug of war going on. And the other side, the devas are pulling him. It's practically being torn apart kind of thing. And that's what happens to the struggling in the sadhaka. He is being pulled by Krishna from one side, and he is also pulling and helping Maya to pull it from away. So it's just, and why this is happening? This is happening because those attachments, you want to keep them, and to keep those attachments, you need negative qualities. All those negative qualities, you require them. And all the negative qualities are born of matter, not of spirit. See? So that's why this whole idea of Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavati Rachinjan, that verse is generally the bone of contention. But the fact is that you execute all the limbs of devotional service with the aim not the aim is Krishna, Krishna Bhakti. Just keep an eye on that. So that will ensure that you are on the right track and you will get all those qualities from devotional service directly. There's nothing more convincing in this world than Krishna giving you that. You see? Just like the Swarup Siddhi. Why so many devotees get very easily, they've been had basically. They have been made so easily. Because they've been told that the Swarup Siddhi can be given by something other than Krishna. Don't be made by such propaganda to an even lesser degree that the qualities can be given by somebody other than Krishna. What is the difference? Somebody has been taken for a ride because they have been told that they can be given Manjari Bhav by another mundane person. And I have been made, I have been had because somebody told me that I can acquire the quality outside of Krishna. See? Just, just focus on the devotional service and just keep an eye, then you will gradually discover what devotional limb of devotional service gives rise to what quality. This can be a very interesting thing because you people are now undergoing Bhakti Shastri and probably has already like covered the natural devotion part. It's a very like it can be a very interesting exercise. Write all the 64 limbs and just start writing what qualities are there, which can be, and then you can write an example immediately. You will find it on your own. That why those devotees had that quality. Because that devotee was specifically more given to that limb of bhakti. And you will find the qualities. Every devotee has got every quality, but some qualities are more highlighted. You know, just like for Ambarish Maharaj, the quality of patience is highlighted, tolerance is highlighted. So, do you want me to believe that Parikshit didn't have that quality? Yeah, but in the Leela, you see Parikshit's quality of impatience. Why did he put that snake on that rishi? Let him mind. But Parikshit has that quality, and you can see it in another place. When he's fasting until death for 7 days, what kind of patience is required? You see? So you will find those things. And why? When did he have that quality? Why did he have that quality? Why didn't he could exhibit the same quality when he was putting the snake? How come he suddenly developed that quality? Because he was, as you said, Sarvai Gunai Tatra Samasate Surat. When practicing devotional service, it will give you. That is what Yoga Kshema Vahamiya. Krishna doesn't come with a platter. Here is your quality. The via media, the thing which gives that quality is devotion. So you practice all the 64. See, if you don't practice all the limbs, don't complain that why I'm not getting the whole result. What happens to a person who daily only eats rice without any pinch, even a pinch of salt? Yeah, he will develop goiter with his iodine inside, iodine deficiency. So if there's a whole package is given, if the whole package is not executed, it's not going to produce the same result. Don't complain. Don't complain. And that's why we find out any devotee in the history of mankind who has not taken to most of the limbs of bhakti, all the limbs of bhakti. Find out a devotee who has refused Charnamrit. Find out a devotee who is in hale and hearty has refused to do parikrama. Give me an example who has thrown out tulsi pot from a home. Tell me a devotee like who has refused to offer a flower to Krishna or has refused to honor that flower when it comes back as Mahaprasad. Okay, give me an example, any one devotee who has never ate prasad in his life. What are you talking about? Bhakti Devi is a Devi. When we say Devi, it's like Harinam is a Prabhu, is Krishna. The Devi means what? Devi means, say for example, a transcendental, okay? A girl. What happens if you pull off one, if a very beautiful girl doesn't have one leg, how does she look? Pitiful. What if it doesn't have two legs? More pitiful. You say, for example, now it doesn't having both the hands also. Oh God, don't you have mercy? Now, wait for the end. What if the girl only had the head and it is alive and the torso is missing? Very beautiful girl, only the head, torso is missing and the head is alive. Yes, that's called Rahu. What happens to Rahu? Whatever he eats, he cannot sustain. Because there is no torso. So limb is what? Limb is hands, legs, all of that. That's the limb of bhakti. Just like the Yamuna as a person looks like that. Or the Govardhan as a person looks like that. Bhakti looks like this. 64 limbs. You tear off all the limbs away or have only like a limited limbs and then you are asking, expecting her to perform everything. What are you testing? Are you testing the limits of bhakti or are you testing your limits? If you say that let one limb of Krishna consciousness execute everything else, which it can certainly do, but to push that limb of devotional service to do your bidding, that's not what devotees do. That's what it is. You execute the 64 limbs of the bhakti given by the Founder-Acharya of the Sampradaya Rupa Goswami. That is then the headache of the Founder-Acharya of the Sampradaya, what to make out of you. These 64 limbs of devotional service, there is no verse in the Shastra which says 64 limbs. This 64 limbs, this whole caricature has been made by Rupa Goswami drawing from the Shastra. That's why he spent 14 chapters explaining what he just listed in the 6th chapter. 7 to chapter number 14. What is it? The evidences for the 64 limbs. Otherwise anybody can question, where did you got it from? So the Rupa Goswami's masterpiece is that he made the template. And why he is the Sampradaya-Acharya for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas? What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is we are following his process. The formula which he has given. Now if you start cutting corners in that formula, don't complain. Then you don't see the bhakti is affecting the way it should be affecting, and what is the effect, the telltale effect is the qualities. Because that limb or those limbs are missing, the associated qualities are also missing. No wonder. That's what it is. I don't know what's the time. Yeah. That's all I have to say. Please, Madhji, correct me, my understanding. Are there any comments or questions? Most will I'll try. Yes, Madhji.
When we mention about the qualities born of passion, goodness or ignorance, they won't last forever. They won't last forever. Maybe till the end of this life, cannot be carried on to the next life. But then we see some children are very calm and some are arrogant from the beginning. So where are they getting this from?
Okay, the karma, if it is still remaining, it will get it. In the same way, you can see many like children, they are very expert at playing musical instruments. They are very melodious in their singing. So that's there. So now, the difference, if you want to differentiate that thing, that whether it is coming from his past life, say for example, he was a musician in his past life, so he will have that samskara. Now whether it is the samskara of the musician or the samskara coming from the past life of a devotee will be matched by the other things which he does. So when it comes to music is very good, but everything else is just contrary to what you expect in a devotee. Don't you know that? But there are these other aspects also with this. And the child has got, first and foremost thing, that he has got a natural inclination towards Krishna. May not be the way I see Krishna, but he has his own way. And that will always be the case. We do not exactly match, blow by blow. Prabhupada, disciples, the traits of the disciples of Prabhupada. We don't. But the same holds true for Prabhupada's God brothers and Prabhupada's disciples. But one thing is common. They were as much as devotee as Prabhupada disciples, and this generation also have their share of devotion. But many things do not match. You see. So the essence is that they are drawn towards Krishna in their own way. Everybody gets drawn to Krishna in their own way. Drawn towards Krishna. And then they will have, everybody has his own devotional service. Everybody has to fly his own airplane. But that which is coming from past life, you can, again the same thing, it is because it's a complete science. There are details, and details are the devil is in the detail actually. So, for some people, the qualities of devotional service remain dormant until and unless they come into contact with the devotee and it is triggered. And some cases, it's already triggered. Third case, the qualities might be present, but I, as a devotee, practicing devotee, is not so advanced to measure them. So for them, I still remain blind. So there can be n number of possibilities. But the law is this, that you will carry forward the devotional qualities. And you will also carry forward your share of karma.
Same applies to the unfavorable qualities like
Everything.
if
Karma means samskara, either good or bad. That's how it works. So it's just
if I'm arrogant in this life, it will be over with this life. I will not be able
Not
to carry it.
necessarily. If he has died an arrogant death, that is the last impression he had. And he had some merits to get a next human body, which in most cases people have, unless they really mess it up. So, he will have that arrogance. And you have to fight it. That's why you see, it's not very difficult to find those things out. It's just like, as you see, the nature and nurture debate. Some things are nurtured and some things are part of the nature. What that nature is? Nature is my nature. That means my samskar. So if it is not hereditary, if it is not cultivated in a company, where is it coming from? It's very simple to find this out. It's not very difficult. If you see the parents have the same kind of traits, so you can say it is coming from the parents. Parents do not have that trait. And they have got surroundings, which is the surrounding. Neither of this is matching. It has to be his own. Okay. I'm just trying. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you for your class, Prabhu. And so your main point was to say that if we practice bhakti as it is, then all the subproducts will, for example, qualities of patience or
there is a qualifying statement in that.
It will come.
Yeah, there's a qualifying statement in that. I always qualified that statement. You must have an eye over those qualities. It's not going to come. Nothing is automatic.
Yeah. So it's by some kind of contemplation or cultivation also. But the main cause of it is bhakti. So then some devotees speak and they have slightly different explanations. So I thought maybe you could talk about it. For example, they say that in Nectar of Instruction, the first verse is you first control your senses, you first control your mind, and then you think about Radha Kund and this and this and that. So they take that book and they actually say opposite thing what you've said. So maybe you can speak.
I'm not gonna challenge their assumption, but because you brought in the first verse, let's go to the first verse and go it as it is without any qualifications now. Okay. What does the verse says? Vacho vegam, manasa vegam, krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara vegam, upastha vegam. What happens if he controls these 6 things? What he becomes qualified for? Really? Really? Anybody has these 6 qualities is qualified to make disciples? I can challenge that assumption. Prove me wrong. Did Rupa Goswami brought in Krishna or Bhakti in that verse? What kind of guru are you looking for? Now give me that answer. Where is Krishna in that verse? Did he mention that? Principles are always universal. Anyone, whether he is Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious, he doesn't say that. He says Sishyat. You go to a coaching institution, you are a Sishya there. But the guru there doesn't have these qualities, you won't study there. Let us come one by one. Very competent teacher, extremely competent teacher in mathematics. But I went there on the first day as I was sitting there, and he picked up somebody's mobile and threw it at him. Would you like to be there on the next day? I'm just telling something that happened just day before yesterday. Some of the students in Pakistan, they were telling this happened in our university. And all the students were up in their arms. It's like, rusticate this teacher. We don't want this teacher. Getting my point? The message is as important in many cases as the messenger. If the messenger is not careful, the messenger and the message both will be rejected. Who cares for your message? Just as they say, this adage goes, I don't care how much you love unless I know how much you care. Something like that. So the same thing. So the center, this is, even it's not Krishna, you want to become guru in any field in life, you must have these 6 qualities, and to the degree you have got these 6 qualities, you will be successful. How about sending my children to learn swimming, and I know the swimming coach doesn't have control over his genitals? Just tell me that. I don't care if he's a national or international swimmer of international repute. So therefrom, Rupa Goswami is speaking to everybody. Then he gradually brings to devotion. Then in the next 2 verses, then he says these are favorable for unfavorable for bhakti. He hasn't yet discussed bhakti. He is just talking from a secular, neutral point of view and then bringing. Because when you are preaching to everybody. And there are differences when you're preaching to devotees. Then it's different. You can see and you can tell the difference. You see? So it's like that. So when the pivot is bhakti, and then everything starts making more sense. But if the pivot is not bhakti, if you practice these things, you will make some sense to the people you live with. But the fact of the matter is, later on it is proven that unless and until you have bhakti, You cannot have complete control over these things. Why? Because you don't control, Krishna controls, you offer it to them. You become smart. When you are dull-headed, bull-headed, when you think you can control these things. After all, what are the 6 senses to begin with? Urge of the, any urge of the tongue. What is the tongue? If you cut off the tongue, the urge goes away. So the first difference is to differentiate between the sense and the sense organ. You are speaking from your mouth, senses, and you are meaning in your mind, the organs. So if there is so much dichotomy within this and this, just imagine how much dichotomy will be there otherwise. Sense is an invisible thing. It's a non-tangible thing. It's not tangible, just like air. It exists, but you can only perceive it, you cannot see it. And that perception is also subjective. Those who are more awakened, they get the urge, they understand it more. The more less awakened, just like if I give you a tranquilizer, what happens? The senses leave you? No, just the feeling of the senses leave you. The senses doesn't leave you. So it's like that, it's subtle. How will you control something subtle with the gross? Why are people afraid of ghosts? Why? The ghost doesn't have a soul and a super soul like you have. Then why are you scared of it? Subtle, that's all. So this idea that the gross can control the subtle, when the creation is the other way around, the gross appears because of the subtle. So that's why it has to go to the even higher domain, the domain of Krishna. And then everything will fall in line, will make sense. But you need to know, that's the point. You need to know what you are doing. It will only work when you know where it has to work. If you don't, it won't. You see? Because everything has a default. And in this world, the default is what you call gravity. What is that gravity means? That in this world, if you don't consciously apply the sadhana bhakti, it will only go down. Uttama, Udgatatama. So then that means you have to be conscious of that. So if I leave this, where will it go? What's going to hit? It's going to hit the floor, right? No, that's called sadhana. Sadhana means that conscious effort. When you bring that thing in, so then it doesn't work the way it should, otherwise would work. So the qualities, you always have an eye, but your main focus is Krishna. You will get it. You will get it. You work for those qualities and forget Krishna, or like Krishna comes later. Anything which is coming in the way of Krishna. That what Bhagavatam says, 11th canto. Bhayam dvitiya avinishyatasyad itas apyatasya viparyayo smriti. When does fear arises? Dvitiya avinivesh. As soon as you have got a second investment apart from Krishna. Avinivesh, investment. Dvitiya, second. Bhaya, it produces fear. So, again, you will develop in the name of Krishna qualities. And devotional service with the eye to please Krishna and the qualities for Krishna. That's why Bhagavad Gita lists those qualities. 20 qualities here, 30 qualities here. Whole 12th chapter. After he speaks about devotional service, what does he speak? Qualities. Why do you think it's like that? Why doesn't he speak about the qualities first and say Same Priya, Same Priya, Same Priya, and the 20th verse Ativa Me Priya? Why? Because if somebody has all the qualities. But before that, what is he speaking about? He is speaking about Rag Bhakti, then he is speaking about Sadhana Bhakti, then he is speaking about Karma Yoga, then he is speaking about acquiring Jnana, something, 5 stages. Why? The result of that. Joy. Joy. So that's what it is. Okay, we are already much over time. Okay. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Anupati Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande.
His Grace Bimala
Sri
Prasada
Prabhupada ki
ki
jai.
jai.